Okay, so now we're going to go over the different sorcery spells that you can learn with Conan Exiles 3.0. And I did notice I went through upgrading the Tome of Kurak on both characters, on both Isle of Sipta and on the Exiled map, and the spells arrived in the very same order. So to me, I'm calling that a level. That may not be what Funcom calls it. It's not random. You're going to get the same spells for each level of the book that you research. So I came up with about 16 levels, and some of the levels have more than one spell and a crafting bench, and some are just one spell. So I'm going to go through them right now. Of course, the first one that you get when you have learned your first set of sorcery skills is the Ice Bridge and Detect Corrupted. I cannot test the Detect Corrupted because I don't have any players on my server right now that are corrupted, and it is a solo game. But I can show you the Ice Bridge. And what better place to show you that than right here. This is the Tower of Bats. There's quite a large gap between here and over there. So I'm going to go ahead and create an ice bridge between the two places. And what I want to do is shape the raw forces of nature and reality itself.
Sure.
And then summon a frozen bridge. You're going to have to very quickly aim at the location where you want the end of the bridge to be.
The
bridge ends up right where I pointed it. The second set of skills that you learn is the light wisps for yourself for an area, plus you learn soul drain and the sacrificial stone, plus all the reagents that you can make with it.
Flinga.
Alright, so this is literally imbues the soul onto our own flesh or onto an area to illuminate the area. So this is under the wields life and death and undeath category. So first is imbues the soul onto their own flesh. And now you can see kind of the area that the light goes on this one.
Flinga.
And then that one works in the area. Okay, then the third spell that you're going to learn is Featherfall or Slowfall. I call it Featherfall because of my knowledge of D&D. That's what I call it, but it's basically Slowfall. Shape the raw forces of nature and reality itself.
Sure.
Conjure gusts of air to slow descent and make it safe to fall from any height. And now you can see there's little wisps of air all around the character, and you can now jump safely to the ground without dying. It still makes the weird sounds, but this lasts for a little while. You can jump over multiple cliffs with this. And also you can jump, kind of do a prolonged jump, as long as this is active. Number 4, you will learn Abyssal Mount Horse and Rhino, which is crafted in the Circle of Power, which you learn at the same time. So let's go ahead and see what those are like. Those are both temporary mounts. They don't last for very long. So our horse takes sacrificial blood in a flask, some demon blood and bones. Now they do not require saddles, so you can get right up on him and ride off with him. They can level to a certain extent, but they do not eat, and they will die when they die. And as you can see above the green bar, there is, it kind of looks like an armor bar, but it's not. It's just sort of the timer that shows how long they have left. They do not last very long at all. It's probably just enough to get you from point A to point B, but you will probably have to run back home after you've done using this horse. And the rhino takes the sacrificial blood, the demon blood, and some horns. And look at him, he is big. He is big and bad. Now once again, he does not take any saddles, you just climb right up and ride off with him. He's a little bit slower, but he does turn on a dime pretty well. So there you go, and both of these will just dissipate after a certain period of time. Now the next one that you learn at level 5 is going to be something called Molten Magma. You're basically building a wall. Okay, I just want to point out here that I have a white rabbit. Just got to point that out because that is a new thing for me. Alright, so let's look at the wall. Summon the raw forces of nature.
Shug.
And you're required to have at least 20% corruption before you can use the spell. That's what it means by escalate.
Lepi.
Summon molten magma from the planet's core, causing it to erupt from the ground. And you're going to have to try to quickly aim at the place you want it to go while you're casting it. Now, this is what it does. This is what it is. It's very hot. It's lava. It will cause heat damage to anything that touches it. And I feel like it's best used in this manner to cut off a pass, to make it harder for somebody to come after you if you're going through a pass like this. But as you can see, you can very easily walk around it. So it's got a very limited potential as far as I'm concerned to do anything. NPCs will definitely chase you around in circles around it. They do not try to touch it or go through it. So they're as smart as anybody else about getting around this wall. This is going to be Creeping Darkness is number 6 on the skills that you learn. Channel pure darkness and terror to surround your being.
Ungep kosha.
And now you are encompassed in darkness. Also, I got stuck in a spider web. That is something else that gets put down inside this darkness. And your enemies will have a hard time finding you, plus they will get stuck. But the darkness does follow you. You cannot get out of the darkness. For level 7, we get Mass Cull. And that is where we can use our sorceress spell to pick up resources in the area, which is a pretty cool one. And this does require 20% corruption to activate this skill. Harvests and recalls minerals in an area around the caster. You can see it takes up quite a bit of resources for a wide range area around the caster. And I picked up all the wood and the bark, the sticks, and that's about it. I didn't get really any minerals this time, but I got resin, so really handy. I really do like this spell. And the next one is detect resources, and we'll have to go to somewhere that has minerals. So the detect resources spell is under Part the Well of Time. Is based to glimpse the past, present, and future. Focuses on rare resources in the natural world, revealing nearby deposits. Now you can see all of those minerals are just lit up. So you know that this is a good place to harvest your minerals from. It should work on iron, silver, gold, and so forth. I'm not sure if it works on meteors. Alright, so then number 8 is the spell to summon your own corpse. And you use the Circle of Power, and this is the spell that you would use when you have a corpse. It will recall your corpse here, and if you are on a server where your items stay with the corpse upon death, then you will be able to pick up your items from the corpse that you have summoned. Otherwise, you can recall your corpse here, but if you have it like I do, where I keep all my items on me when I die, then all you're going to get is a corpse, and you're not going to get the containment, anything that it contains. So you could still harvest it for skin and bones and meat, you know, but you can't get any items off of it because the server settings determines what it is that you're going to get when you summon in your own corpse. Number 9 is Call of the Dead and Raise the Dead. So there's 2 spells that you can do now. So the first one we're going to demonstrate is the Raise a Corpse. So here's the shallow grave that you get with the skill. And you want to drag in a fighter. It will not take any artisans. It will only take fighters. And all you need for ingredients is that fighter. You drag it over here just like you do any thrall with a rope who's unconscious. You put him in here and then you craft him. Okay, so now we have a corpse, and you can have him follow you like any other pet. Also, when you look at him, you look at his stats, he comes fully leveled. These are his stats. He's at the maximum health points that he can have for this level, for this type of follower. And I already have one out, so I can get him to follow me. And he can join the other one. And they're both very strong fighters. Let's see if I can have both of them at the same time. Okay, I have 2 of them at the same time. Apparently we can have up to 3. But they do come out here and they will fight everything with their bare hands. They are very strong. They are poisoned by those things, but they are not, generally not very much affected by it. Now, the other thing that you learn at this level is the Call of the Dead, and that is the zombie fog. Wield the forces of life and death. Escalate. Escalate. Call forth a terrible fog and undead horde within. Now, it covers quite a large area on this island. You can see there's one of the undead hordes right there. And my corpses are gonna kill them. There's undead coming up all over the place here. And if you're trying to get away from somebody, it's pretty good. See, I go out this far and I'm outside of the fog now. The fog will stay. I'm gonna tell my guys to chill out over here. They might still go after the other undead. But as you can see, this is quite a thick fog. Now, the next that you will learn is at number 10, Invisibility of yourself, Conceal, Corruption, and Mirror Mark. So let me show off some of those right away. Okay, I've got everybody excited. They all kind of come chase me down. I'm not too happy about that, so what I'm gonna do now is give them a little bit of an illusion to pay attention to. Make the unreal seem real to trick the 5 senses. Escalate. The sorcerer splinters its soul to conjure a mirror duplicate that enrages enemies. I'm gonna get their attention again. Oh my goodness. And they go for that mirror before they start chasing me down. And then I can go invisible as well. Make the unreal seem real.
Tiarnek Yarul.
So now I'm invisible. However, I have noticed that NPCs and other enemies will still see me, so I'm not quite sure what the invisibility is good for unless you're doing PvP. But I can see there, you can still see yourself. I don't know what this looks like to other people though. But you know, when you're against sort of a varied background like this, it would be pretty difficult to see them, I can guess. Especially at a distance, the farther away you get. Okay, and then the final one for the number 10 spells section that you learn with your leveling is going to be the conceal corruption. So once again, make the unreal seem real to trick the five senses. Conceal the physical effects of corruption. And as you can see, my character is very corrupted. She's got the gray skin, the purple veins. She looks like she's gotten a lot older in her face. So now we're going to conceal all of that. And now she is back to normal. You'd never know. You'd never suspect a thing. She looks innocent as the newborn day. Now, the next spell or thing that you learn, it's a spell, it's not really a spell, it's a piece of alchemy that you learn at number 11. And you are required to use some soul essence in your leveling of your tome at this point. So at that point, you would officially need to be sacrificing, although I think once we start crafting our own sorceress pages, we are already sacrificing. So I think from level 2 on, we're sacrificing people. There's just no way around it. But as you can see in the alchemist bench, now we have a spell, or it's not a spell, it's called the Elixir of Rebirth. And this is a potion that allows followers to learn physical or mental skills without training or expertise. So this will be a beneficial thing for your followers to have. And from what I understand, you can do this to beasts as well as your summoned corpses or other thralls, fighter thralls. And while I'm here at the alchemy bench, I might as well point out that you can make your own burlap pouch, cloth pouch, leather pouch, and those are in here. The only one that require the sacrifice is the leather pouch with the sacrificial blood and a weathered skull. These other two require some lower level reagents, you know, twine, putrid meat, bone, or for the cloth pouch, the leather, demon blood, gold dust, and bone meal. So those are easily crafted. Next, I'll show you number 12. This is definitely going to be a fan favorite. Number 12 is Call of Nergal, which is the Bat Demon Ride. There's only one category called Summon and Control Demons.
Shock.
And for now, there's only one spell in there so far, Escalate.
Lehi.
And then call forth a bat demon from the abyss, 20% corruption required. And here we go. Alright, so now you have basically a glider. He is a glider. He is constantly on the descend, a very slow descend, unless you hit the space bar and make him go higher. But you can then circle him. If you're getting close to where you want to land, you can circle him around to just let it go in a circle. You can see that he does have a timer, so you don't have infinite amount of time to play with this. And when you get close to something, he will drop you. And that is the Bat Demon Ride. Now, number 13 gives you some abyssal skills, and one of them is Abyssal Cull, along with Abyssal Armor and the Abyssal Maul. So this is the Abyssal Cull. We'll go ahead and craft him. There he is. He's looking pretty mean. Now he does not come leveled. He can level. He is a short duration. There's a little timer up there above his green bar. Looks like we've had an incursion and our corpses have taken care of it. But he does quite a bit of damage as well. Let's check him out. Let's see, he's got 862 health just to start out with. Let's see how he does versus one of these lizards down here. If we can find one. Or maybe one of these big giant turtle things. There he is. Attack that. Like he throws a rock at him. Oh, he just punched them all down. Alright, now let's get to something that's pretty exciting. I like this one. This is the Abyssal Armor and the Maul. So you can see right here we have the Abyssal Armor. It takes some sacrificial blood in a flask, demon blood, and heavy padding. Craft it. Summons a demon who instantly dies. And then you can walk up and take his armor. Now this armor is pretty nice. It's got different stats. It's got strengthened weapon damage 10%, agility weapon damage 10%, and insatiable, and all of them have this. But each piece has a different, one unique trait. So the hat has follower damage plus 12%. The chest has health plus 60. The arms have carrying capacity plus 30. The legs have another health plus 60. And the feet have stamina plus 15. It grants you 1,120 armor. It's lightweight, so it gives you the lightweight armors. And it looks really cool. It just looks like a mishmash of things, but it is a very cool style. And then we compare that with the Abyssal Maul, which we've learned how to craft. We craft one of those. And again, demon arrives, dies, and and you can walk up and just take that Maul. Now, one thing I do want to point out with the Maul and the armors, you have 2 hours to use them. They have an expiration timer. So these are not meant to be used all day, every day, all the time. I guess this is a way that they mitigate the abuse of such wonderful weapons. The Maul has 72 health damage and 47% armor penetration. That is a big thing, especially in vanilla Conan. Okay, at level 14, we will learn the Abyssal Bow. It's very much like the armor and the Maul. You put in some crafting reagents, sacrificial blood in a flask, demon blood, and shaped wood. Demon arrives with a bow, then dies. And you run up and you take it from him. So that is pretty cool. I like the way that the bow looks. And I like the way that the Maul looks. The Maul actually has some glowing bits to it. Or you can see it better that way. Very nice. I do know that you cannot use cannot transmog it. So you cannot take the stats from these items and put them onto something plain. That's definitely not going to happen. Also, you cannot drop these. So if I was going to try to trade these with somebody, guess what? That's not going to happen. It says this item cannot be moved. So it stays in your inventory until it dissipates. So that way they have a way to control who gets to use this and for how long. Only you can use it, and you can only use it for 2 hours. Number 15 is the last big spell that we have. It's a destructive spell. It is the lightning storm, which is funny because it's already raining. Shape the raw forces of nature and reality itself. Escalate. Escalate. Call down the lightning storm. 40% corruption required. Now you can see how big this lightning storm is, and it strikes down instantly. It doesn't hit everything all the time 100%, but it does eventually get them. It does destroy trees, rocks, beasts. So it is pretty deadly, and it'll last for a little while. Now at number 16, at level 16, you will learn the Transportory Stone. That's what this is right here. The idea is that you will craft a few of these, and you'll have one at your base, and then you'll have one at different areas in the world where you like to go all the time. And it's a quick transportation method. And they are run by sacrificial blood in a flask and brimstone. As long as these items are in here, they will continue to be active. You also have the option to extinguish the gateway. So perhaps you don't want everybody coming over. You can extinguish it. Now, when you're in here, you can see different rocks floating around. I only have one out there, but you point your cursor at the rock, and that's where I'm going to go. Now I am over here, and I have already put down a Transportory Stone here, so I can always get back home. But now I am very near this area here with Septimaru and the Brimstone, all of that. So those are good resource areas. Silver over here. So it's a great spot for me to put down a transportation stone. And then when I'm done in the area, I just go back. And there's one rock. It says East Lookout Point. That's my home. And I'm back. Alright, so that is it for the spells for patch 3.0. I know that this has taken quite a bit of time, probably longer than my usual video once I get this edited down. I do like this system somewhat. It's going to be clunky. You cannot just run around and throw fireballs at people. This is not a very offensive sort of sorcery. It takes time to cast, and it takes time to craft. It's going to take a lot of effort, and you will still need to have the ability to defend yourself with melee weapons, because you're going to get attacked. If you're in a PvP scenario and you're trying to cast anything at all, this is the same thing that happens when you're casting the spell for the god avatars. Your character is standing there and is an open game for anyone to come up and just kill. So don't think that this sorcery thing is going to be OP for that. But I do have a very mad demon guy who's trying to attack me now. He doesn't like me right now. So that's kind of a downfall, that your little demon guy isn't going to follow you anymore. He goes nuts. He's no more. He's gone wild. Oh my goodness. Come on over here. So he's not happy with me now. And of course this is Testlive. I don't know if this is intended, that your demon's going to turn on you at the end. But you got your corpses to help you out. So you might have to destroy your creations sometimes, because they decide to go ape on you. No pun intended. Alright. Huh, that was funny. That was funny. Alright, so you can see there are some pitfalls to the sorcery. And so the things that I really like are the utilitarian aspects. I like the ice bridge a lot. I love the ice bridge a lot. I love the slow fall spell. These are things that I would use every day, I think, all the time. Other things I don't think I would use so much would be the corpses and the fogs and so forth. They take a lot of time and effort to make, and then I don't see a lot of benefit for those spells in particular. I like the Transportory Stone, of course, that is useful. This armor and this weapon, they're pretty nice. It's disappointing that you can't have it all the time, but I understand why. And I understand why they are limited and that they will decay over time. That is it for me on this. Let me know what you think about this. I think they've done a pretty good job of trying to mitigate some of the overpoweredness that a sorcery skills line could give you in Conan. And they're still focusing most of their combat on melee weapons. That is low fantasy sorcery, right in a nutshell. Yes, there's a lot of evil stuff you have to do to get to it, and there's no way that you could say that magic is good in the Conan universe. That's it for me. Take care and have a good day.
Thank you for watching. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Until next time, goodbye.